Let's remind you again of the table, and you're going to see a lot of this, aren't you, in the coming few weeks, because Manchester City are still in second place, and we sort of almost crowned them champions here today, but they've got some work to do.
No, but it's not the fact. It's the fact that coming into this game, could they stay within 3 points? No disrespect to Burnley, expect Man City to go and win at Burnley. Then they become top of the table, and that's what we was all expecting. That's what we was all thinking would happen. And the big sort of chat today, could Arsenal get a draw here? And they couldn't. Man City did it, and they're doing it.
Well,
so why would everyone rip them off?
A reminder, if they win at Burnley, which you would expect them to do, which you do expect them to do, they will go top on goal difference. Then Arsenal play twice against Newcastle and Fulham. Could go 6 clear again before City go to Everton, who've made life pretty difficult for Liverpool today, albeit lost, and Brentford, who'll be chasing European football themselves. So it's going to be a little bit nip and tuck, isn't it, in these finals?
Yeah, but Arsenal, from their camp, will believe that City are going to win every game. That has to be their mindset. And obviously it'll be the same for them. I think you can't be looking at other teams to try and do you a favour. And that's why it was in Arsenal hands a little bit today to come here and try and get... That's why the result, and a good result, obviously, would have been a draw. So that's the frustration. But Arsenal will now be sitting in that dressing room believing that Man City, and one of the biggest words in sport is momentum. And City have it at the moment, and Arsenal have lost it.
Also beaten in 13 as well.
Dave, I'm not sure that Pep Guardiola thought in November, December that he had a team capable of winning the league this year. Kusanov hadn't emerged, Gay wasn't in the club, Semenyo wasn't in the club, Nico O'Reilly wasn't at the level. All of a sudden, these 4 or 5 players, Cherki, O'Reilly, Kusanov, Gay, Nico O'Reilly, have just stepped up a massive level in the last 4 to 6 weeks. And you thought, well, how is Pep Guardiola going to build this sort of third championship-winning team? They've gone from being a vulnerable, immature back four to being one now that looks like it can play together in these sort of big games. So these 5 players have sort of will be stepped up at a level that probably we didn't think they were capable of in this season. I'm not sure even Pep Guardiola thought he would be in this position.
He kept saying, didn't he, we'll be a great team next season.
Yeah, I think this is ahead of where they thought they might be, and I think where we all thought they might be.
No, but that's down on Arsenal opening the door for them. You know, we can talk about Man City. The reason why I said it would come to this game is because it was dependent on what Arsenal did. And Arsenal, in this running, they had the chance to put games to bed, and they haven't done. And now they've sort of brought that pressure on themselves.
We should perhaps also remember that City's best winning run over the course of this season and last is 6 matches. So they're up to 2 already by virtue of beating Chelsea and Arsenal here today. But to win the league, they might have to go on a winning run for the rest of the season. Does there come a point, Patrick, where in this position you are starting to think about goal difference?
Yeah, of course you will start to think about it. It's only 5 games remaining. And just to disagree a little bit with Gary, I don't believe that a manager like Pep in December will say, OK, if we qualify for the Champions League, I will be happy with it. I don't think that is a profile on the type of manager. I think he will challenge. And he is where he was maybe hoping the teams to be. I think he brings some quality players in December, and players are growing up and build this kind of belief and confidence. And in the back of his head, he's where he wanted to be. And they will be there at the end of the season. They winning the games today, give them that belief, that momentum. And I think now it will be Arsenal who will have to chase them, because I don't see in them dropping points.
Yeah, but they would have got a lift. Obviously, Mike is saying there, but you then get a lift from Arsenal slipping up. That keeps your spirits up. Because even last week, the Bournemouth game, the day before Arsenal go to the Chelsea game, when these results are coming through, we've all been there, a good or positive result or a negative result comes in, and they can give you a lift. You go, I tell you what, maybe they are getting nervous, and they're at our place next week. That would give you a lift. So they've had encouragement, but of course they made the most of it. It's well and good getting an opportunity, but they took it. Obviously, going to Chelsea last week, winning today in a tight game, even though they gave up a few chances. And that's where I go back to that. That momentum is certainly in the City dressing room now. But
we can't have a playoff, but we could have this title going down to goal difference if they all win their remaining games. Micah, you've experienced this very famously before.
Yeah, Mancini always said, score. I remember we come in half-time, one game, but look at these games, West Brom, Norwich, Wolves, United, I'm looking at the United game, and that's when Vincent Kompany scored that header, and that's when we thought the momentum. No disrespect to West Brom, Norwich and Wolves, we all thought we could win then. It was like, get over the line against Man United.
For a little bit of added context, you trailed Manchester United on goal difference by 2 going into this, and then won the Premier League by a goal difference superior of 8. So in those games against West Brom and Norwich, were you consciously chasing the goal?
Constantly chasing. Mancini said we need to score more and more goals, especially against that Norwich side, who at the time we thought we could expose them, Wolves away, but then it was just, could you get over the line? And we talk about momentum. Man United was that game for us. Win that game and you get over the line. And the Newcastle away was really, really tough. Remember, Yaya stepped up massively in that game. And then the last game of the season, it could have gone anyway, but it's just Mancini constantly saying, score more goals, because that could be the difference at the end. And it was.
Drink it in. Could you actually see a situation feasibly where they do both win all the way through to the end of the season?
No, I don't think both teams will win every game. Yeah, I don't think Arsenal will win 5 games and City win 5 games and Arsenal win it on goal. I think City are going to have to drop points somewhere, in my mind. I'm not quite sure where that is. I do think they've got a massive, massive advantage now.
Which games would you see Arsenal not winning now?
On paper, you'd say the Everton game, just because it can be a tough game for
No, where do you see Arsenal dropping points?
Also, I think next Saturday night's got a lot of danger because, look, Arsenal, I think, have played well here today. They couldn't come here today and freeze, and they couldn't come here with a glass half empty approach, and they haven't done. They played really well, I think, in the game.
They're on an awful run.
They are, but I just think the nerves inside that stadium, if Arsenal don't start well next Saturday night, or if Newcastle get a goal, next Saturday night is imperative Arsenal have to get over the line in this game.
Do you think there's more pressure going into that game than there would have been had they been leading? You know how tense it's been there all season.
I know, and I think that tension will still be there next Saturday night a little bit, and I think Arsenal have to cope with that next Saturday and come through it.
But that's part of the challenge, the tension. You know, I think the City players would have had tension today. They're at home. The manager said it, if they don't win today, the league's over. So that's the challenge for these Arsenal players, going back to the last few seasons, into playing under pressure. That's what the game's about. And City have been the best team in this country by far for the last 6, 7, 8 years, playing under pressure. Imagine the pressure that City players run today in front of their own fans. But they turned up. And you get the plaudits, and Gary said there, I think it's no good getting plaudits when you get beaten. It's absolutely no good.
No, but you can take positives, can't you?
No,
we all
we're losing today.
We can a little bit.
They're Arsenal Football Club. It's not a small club.
No,
it's a big club.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying how we thought Arsenal would set up today.
I thought Arsenal would do all right today.
They would go in a low block. That's what we've seen. If you look at Arsenal's last 5 games, they've not been playing well. In some games, they've been getting over the line. In some games, not. Today, they showed when they press and when they're aggressive, they're a better team.
And surely you have to spin that, don't you, Roy, to your team?
Well, you're not surprised Arsenal came and done well here today. It's not good getting on the bus or the train.
It's not that,
we should do that.
It's a mentality.
Do you want the plaudits or the points? What do you want?
Of course you want the points, and we said that earlier on. But we're talking about a team taking positives going into the next game.
What will it take
and they played a lot better.
Right.
Well, did you expect Arsenal to play as good as this in terms of offensive?
Yeah, I did. Of course I did. They're top of the table. They're a good team. They're no mugs.
I think Arteta at the end in his dressing room, he'll be saying, I'm proud of you. Play at that standard for the rest of the season and we'll win games.
I'm proud of you. Gary.
Micah, to be fair, in my experience, this is a movable object on this point.
I think I've got him next to me.
Hold on. I'm proud of you. Really?
No, my point is, I think he'll say, I'm proud of the way you played, and I think he'll say that if we play at that standard for the rest of the season, we'll win all 5 games.
I'm proud of the goal we gave away. That's the winning goal. That's a defining moment.
I think
it's in the goalkeeper's one hand, and 10 seconds later, it's in our goal. That's something to be proud of.
I don't think he'll say they were perfect in every moment in the game, but I think he'll say.
And City weren't perfect, but City won the game.
I know.
Before we move it on to Arsenal, do you think that Pep Guardiola gives Manchester City an advantage in this race?
Of course, a huge advantage. He's been there, he's done it, and he knows what it takes to win. And obviously, this experience, the way he's communicating with the players and the way he's conducting himself, the messages he's sending around, even to the press, I think he's composed when he's around. And of course, the confidence and the belief that he's given to the players to go there and to perform the way they did today. And I think it's everything surrounding the team and the football club. I think there is a huge foundation that has been built in this football club, and I think that allowed them to manage those kind of games, those kind of situations.
Still behind, but it seems like, according to our panel, they are very much in the driving seat right now.